On the vehicle this pro-certified lifetime warranty will be available on new and pre-owned vehicles. That's coverage for unlimited time, unlimited miles with no cost to you. Landmark for a lifetime. Just another reason why
You always do better at Landmark.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep wants to thank you for a successful Midnight Madness sale. It's because of their great customer base and community that they can offer these amazing deals for 10 years. If you missed it, don't fret. Landmark Chrysler Jeep just got a ton of great local trade-ins and is extending the sale pricing and 4.5% financing for 78 months through July 31st. So hurry in for your last chance at Midnight Madness savings at Landmark Chrysler Jeep Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
X with a double X. Battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
X with a double X. Battery. Generations of power.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny skies today with a high near 92. Slight chance of showers overnight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 93, low around 73. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 93. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or two. Thursday, sunny and hot with a high near 96. And Friday, sunny and hot with a high near 97. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
There's a reason your parents and grandparents keep going to Hendricks Home Furnishings. Trending styles, endless design options, and easy to deal with. It's the way their customers describe Hendricks Home Furnishings, and with competitive prices to the box stores in Springfield. If you're shopping for furniture and you haven't been to Verdon, you're missing the biggest and best showroom in Central Illinois. Check it out on Google 360 or come see them. They'll even pay for your gas down to Verdon. Hendricks Home Furnishings. See store for details.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Do your part today and you could save someone's life with Impact Life. And during Impact Life's Good Giving promotion this summer, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible to receive a $25 gift card or continue the giving and donate your gift to support local teachers. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Learn more at bloodcenter.org.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough? If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
A measure that would ultimately say the federal government can't declare a public health emergency when it comes to violent crime as an effort to try to limit the Second Amendment, something that an Indiana U.S. senator is looking to get passed. We'll see just how far it goes. Good morning. Back at it, live and local, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. You can always chime in live and local at 217-629-7970. We'd love to hear your thoughts about this. U.S. Senator Mike Braun of Indiana offering up an amendment to the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness Act that would prevent the administration and the Department of Health and Human Services from declaring gun violence as a public health emergency, and therefore allowing it to possibly implement executive orders limiting individuals' Second Amendment rights. This obviously is an issue that we have here right in our backyard in Illinois. We've covered extensively Illinois' ban on semi-automatic firearms and magazines over certain capacities with the litigation in the courts in the Illinois Supreme Court. We're still waiting for any kind of ruling there. You've also got the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals with consolidated cases from the Southern District of Illinois and the Northern District of Illinois dealing with the Second Amendment question, whether or not we see a Fifth Amendment challenge to the gun registry that's supposed to kick in January 1st of 2024. We shall see. But that's just Illinois. You've got conversations across the country when it comes to gun control, and in particular, Indiana Senator Mike Braun offering up an amendment to the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness Act. So you've already got the Biden administration and their HHS secretary calling for a gun violence public health emergency. And what would that do ultimately? Would it give the federal government more tools to possibly limit the Second Amendment? That's a big question. I think that is still very much unresolved, but Mike Braun, he's looking to limit that from happening. Here he is last week at a Senate hearing forcing a vote on this issue, and here's a minute clip of Senator Braun laying this out.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, Americans saw government flourish while many of our constitutional rights were diminished. More and more, big government wants to turn everything into a national emergency. Recently, the Secretary of Health and Human Services stated that gun violence is a public health emergency. This would give HHS the ability to restrict Americans' right to keep and bear arms. HHS was never intended to implement gun control of any kind. My amendment with Senator Budd would simply prohibit HHS from declaring a public health emergency to implement gun control. And I am requesting a vote on this one.
Okay. Thank you. In my view, it is critical that we protect the authority of the Secretary of HHS to declare public health emergencies based on science and evidence. And this would be, I think, an unfortunate precedent, and I would urge my colleagues to vote no on this amendment.
So again, that was U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders responding to U.S. Senator Mike Braun during a committee hearing, and you have a majority Democrat Senate, so obviously this thing isn't necessarily going to move forward, but still raises the specter of that being a possibility, that the federal government could declare a public health emergency and somehow make some steps in executive action to limit the Second Amendment. This all in the context of what we saw happen during COVID-19, with public health emergencies declared on a federal level, allowing for local states to declare public health emergencies, thereby saying that you can't open your business up to in-person service, thereby saying that you can't send your kids to school to get an education, thereby saying that we're going to increase unemployment assistance, we're going to increase federal tax dollars for businesses, all of the fraud that happened, all of the economic chaos that happened for the COVID-19 pandemic, and the willingness of a lot of people to go along with those declared emergencies and the subsequent executive action that took place, from people not going to church or closing their churches to not wanting to gather with others. I still see people out in public wearing masks from time to time. So the willingness of the public to go along with such an emergency has already been displayed, and this effort by Braun in the U.S. Senate to somehow curb the government's ability to, by executive action, after a public health emergency may be declared, to limit that. And I think, we'll see this debate continue to move forward when it comes to just how exactly they move with the idea of any kind of public health emergency when it comes to violent crime, especially violent crime where firearms are used. Something else, too, that's interesting to note is another piece of legislation that seems to be being brought up in the U.S. Senate from Kristen Gillibrand and deals with 3D printed guns. And it's called the 3D Printed Gun Safety Act. And this is federal legislation. And ultimately, it would ban the online distribution of blueprints when it comes to 3D printing of firearms. Now, you guys have heard about so-called ghost guns, quote unquote, but really all they are firearms manufactured at home, which is a completely legitimate thing for people to do. From my understanding, the ATF rules state that you can essentially build your own firearm. You just can't transfer it to somebody. If you have to transfer it to somebody, it's got to have a serial number and it's got to be reported and so on. But when it comes to manufacturing your own firearms, that's completely within the bounds of the law. However, people seem to tack on a term like ghost gun to these homemade firearms, and that brings a negative connotation, and then you have this desire for more action to be taken on these, quote, ghost guns. But a lot of, different types of information out there when it comes to what exactly is a 3D printed gun. You think 3D printing, and some may think of plastic. And sure, you can make a plastic firearm that's going to shoot off one round, and I don't even think you want to hold that into your hand, right? Because it could just, your hand could... your hand could blow up. But when it comes to other ways, like, for instance, the lower receivers, having those be only 80% completed, and I've used this term before, 3D printed of guns, but really all you need with an 80% finished lower receiver for like an AR-15, for instance, is a milling machine that just mills out and finishes off that lower receiver to be 100% ready. And those are things that have been fought over in courts concerning, can the ATF regulate a chunk of metal that is not a lower receiver? And a federal judge recently gave a preliminary injunction to plaintiffs suing the ATF over that rule, saying that the ATF can't just make up rules to, limit access to hunks of metal. But Kristen Gillibrand pushing for this 3D Printed Gun Safety Act, which would limit online distribution of 3D printed schemes and schematics. What are the First Amendment implications there, let alone the Second Amendment implications? There's a company out of Texas called Defense Distributed that has, for a while, been putting out different types of 3D schemes and schematics and blueprints that people can download, and then they can enter it into their 3D printer or their milling machine, and they can finish off these various components to make firearms at home. And one of the big questions was, if you limit those schematics and those blueprints, what are you doing to the First Amendment? Free speech, free press. If you're limiting blueprints, what does that do to the First Amendment? I think that's a very interesting question that Kristen Gillibrand's proposal here seems to rub right up against. So we'll see what happens with those pieces of legislation from two senators on the opposite side of this issue, but still very much something that's going to impact you one way or another here in the United States when it comes to not just your Second Amendment rights, but also your First Amendment rights. All right, so back at it. And of course, we'd love to take your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. We can, of course, take your calls all throughout the morning. But you can also email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. All right, so make it happen, and we got plenty more coming up All right, it's now 6:21, and let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got a high of 91 and some patchy fog throughout the morning. The low down to around 67 with a slight chance of showers and storms. And then Tuesday, warming up to a high of 91 with mostly sunny skies. 73 the low Tuesday night with a high of 92 by Wednesday, mostly sunny. Sunny and hot Thursday with a high of 96. Even warmer Friday with a high of 97, sunny and hot. Right now, 62 degrees at 622 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Your next vacation to Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, Florida is just a quick flight away with nonstop flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Enjoy lounging on the beach, golfing the stunning courses, or catching up with family in the Sunshine State. Find yourself a warm getaway with low fares from Allegiant and your friends at Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, where parking is always free. Book your trip today at Allegiant.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Save big money at Menards on everything for your next project, even breakfast items to get your day started. Save big while supplies last on Hormel Thick Cut Bacon, just $6.99 a pack. After rebate, pick up a 100-count pack of single-serve coffee brew cups for just $23.99 after 11% off. That's just 24 cents per cup after rebate. Good through July 30th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm sleeping so hot.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm on fire. Send help. Finally, can you help?
For the last time, ma'am, turn your thermostat below 90 degrees, stop cuddling up next to this bear, and take the plastic cover off and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
During Verlo's Sleep Cool sale, we're offering discounts on our firm, plush, pillow top, and hybrid V7 through V11 sets. On top of our discounts, we're giving you a free Cool Contact mattress protector, a set of cotton or bamboo sheets, or 2 of our Verlo gel pillows. Pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and save even more. So beat the heat this summer and get yourself a Verlo mattress.
Thanks, Verlo.
Verlo mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3, 2, win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766. 800-467-2766.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Do your part today, and you could save someone's life with Impact Life. And during Impact Life's Good Giving promotion this summer, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible to receive a $25 gift card. Or continue the giving and donate your gift to support local teachers. Please, give what's in your heart, because we are changing the world together. Learn more at bloodcenter.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
We didn't get a chance last week to review that House committee hearing over in Washington, D.C. that was about social media censorship and the government, by proxy, being the one to force that. They had the New York Post reporter who broke the story about the Hunter Biden laptop back in November of 2020. Actually, it was October of 2020, just a few weeks before the November 2020 election. You also had Robert F. Kennedy Jr. there, and he was discussing how he is being censored, but they even attempted to try to censor him again, and this is just a little bit of the chaos that erupted on the committee floor, where you had Kennedy trying to talk, but then you had others trying to keep him from speaking, including the Senator, or rather Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, saying that, nope, she doesn't want Robert Kennedy to speak.
Point of order, pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2, which Mr. Kennedy is violative of, I move that we move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy has repeatedly made despicable anti-Semitic and anti-Asian comments as recently as last week. Rule 11, Clause 2 says, whenever it is asserted by a member of the committee that the evidence or testimony at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate any person, or it is asserted by a witness that the evidence or testimony that the witness would give at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate the witness, and it goes on. Mr. Kennedy, among many other things, has said, I know a lot now about bioweapons. We put out hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there is an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are...
Is a lady making a motion or a speech?
I've made a motion to move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy's testimony...
Mr. Chairman, I
and
move
his
to table the
previous
motion.
statements-
The gentleman from Kentucky has moved to table.
So, motion tabled. So Debbie Wasserman Schultz continued to what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said was to defame him. And obviously there's some bad blood here. Is it because of the politics involved? Is it because Robert F. Kennedy is saying some things negative against, Joe Biden, for instance, and the Biden regime? Here is some of Robert Kennedy talking more about really what he sees is going on here when it comes to the censorship campaign, trying to keep him from having his voice heard. Here's Robert Kennedy, the junior, talking about why he feels he's being censored to the degree that he's being censored by social media and now by even members of Congress.
If by your leave, I'd like to just respond briefly to some of the, what I would call defamations that have been just applied to me by the ranking member. I'm happy to talk to you about my opinions on these issues, what you have stated and tried to associate me with through guilt by association is simply inaccurate. Virtually everything, every statement that you just made about me is inaccurate. I have never advised Black Americans not to receive vaccines. At one point you say I'm anti-vax, and that's a bad thing. The other moment you point out that all my children are vaxxed. I'm fully compliant with the vaccine schedule myself, except for COVID. I took flu vaccines for 20 years straight. I have never been anti-vax. I have never told the public avoid vaccination. The only thing I've asked for, and my views are constantly misrepresented, so that the truth of what I believe is not, we're not allowed to have a conversation about that with the American people, which I believe vaccines should be tested with the same rigor as other medicines and medications.
And again, Robert Kennedy Jr. there laying out his case for him being misquoted or misrepresented to the public. He's, of course, a presidential candidate challenging Joe Biden in the Democratic primary. We'll see just how far that gets here in the months ahead. But obviously, Robert Kennedy Jr. Is not too favored by the establishment Democrats, while the Republicans seem to be more than willing to give him a platform to discuss censorship, to discuss medical interventions, to discuss a whole variety of things. But one thing that Robert Kennedy Jr. is saying that I think is not something you hear a lot of mainstream candidates talk about, and that's this mission creep towards fascism, where you've got corporations and government working hand in hand. And he says that very much is the case in the medical field, and very much seems to be the case when it comes to social media companies that censored debate for close to 3 years during the COVID-19 situation. So fascinating to see that. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Coming back, a group has won a concession from the State Board of Elections dealing with voter rolls. We'll get to that coming up next here on WMAY. Right now, though, it's 6:33, and let's check some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: some Illinois teachers will be entitled to a bonus under new legislation signed by Governor J.B. Pritzker. The bipartisan measure passed unanimously in the state Senate and was opposed by 9 Republicans in the House. The new law allows for an annual retention bonus of $4,000 per year for national board certified teachers who serve in schools where more than 30% of the students live in households below the poverty line. About 2/3 of Illinois is in a moderate drought condition or worse, an improvement over the past 2 weeks. With no rain in the forecast, however, drought conditions are expected to get worse. Corn and soybean crops are stressed throughout most of the state, and temperatures in the Springfield area are expected to be in the mid-90s this week. But a local farmer says the winter wheat harvest that wrapped up in late June was actually boosted by the dry weather. Excessive heat bearing down on much of the United States is a reminder of the reason the Inflation Reduction Act passed nearly a year ago. Since then, nearly 80 major clean energy manufacturing facilities have been announced, an investment equal to the previous 7 years combined, according to the American Clean Power Association. However, experts say that the IRA is not enough to guarantee the U.S. will reach its emission reduction targets outlined in the Paris Agreement to prevent the most severe impacts of climate change. A White House official says President Joe Biden will establish a national monument honoring Emmett Till, a black teenager from Chicago who was tortured and killed in 1955 after being accused of whistling at a white woman in Mississippi. His lynching and his mother's insistence on an open casket helped galvanize the civil rights movement. The official says Biden will sign a proclamation on Tuesday to create the Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument across 3 sites in Illinois and Mississippi. Tuesday is the anniversary of Till's birth in 1941. Commercial shippers are weighing their options about carrying Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea. Russia has attacked Ukrainian ports key to sending grain to the world for several days straight and withdrew from a deal whereby they had permitted grain shipments to be exported unmolested. Wheat prices worldwide are expected to spike as a spokesman for an international marine insurer group said it's unlikely that underwriters will want to cover that risk. The Pharmacy Gallery in Springfield has issued a call for applicants for its Emerging Artist Program. The program is sponsored by the Springfield Area Arts Council and the Illinois Arts Council. The Pharmacy Gallery offers a subsidized art learning experience in a studio gallery environment mentored by professional artists. Candidates must be high school graduates and should present a portfolio of recent work and an artist statement. More information can be found at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Summer's heating things up, outside and on the grill. Whether you're smoking a brisket or grilling up veggies, Kingsford Original Charcoal delivers the consistent performance and smoky wood-fired flavor barbecuers crave. Kingsford Original lights faster and has a long burn time, giving you the ultimate grilling experience. So grab a bag of Kingsford Original Charcoal. Kingsford.com. Kingsford Original Charcoal lights faster and delivers consistent performance compared to nationally available charcoal in the USA.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Peggy at Springfield Supportive Living loves to stay busy.
I love the garden area. It's so peaceful, and they got the walkway, and I walk a lot. I walk 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day, at least.
And then there are Peggy's numerous hobbies.
I like to craft and sew and crochet and keep myself pretty busy, and they have a lot of activities, and I just enjoy being here.
At SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny skies today with a high near 92. Slight chance of showers overnight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 93, low around 73. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 93. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or two. Thursday, sunny and hot with a high near 96. And Friday, sunny and hot with a high near 97. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Summer's heating things up, outside and on the grill. Whether you're smoking a brisket or grilling up veggies, Kingsford Original Charcoal delivers the consistent performance and smoky wood-fired flavor barbecuers crave. Kingsford Original lights faster and has a long burn time, giving you the ultimate grilling experience. So grab a bag of Kingsford Original Charcoal. Kingsford.com. Kingsford Original Charcoal lights faster and delivers consistent performance compared to nationally available charcoal in the USA.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's ION Travel Minute. The United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network has recently released their World Happiness Report. It reveals the world's happiest countries for 2023. Finland took the top spot for the 6th year in a row, with the other Nordic nations all sitting in the top 10. Their GDP per capita, generosity, and social support are all contributing reasons why this area of the world seems to be so happy. The United States made the top 20, sitting at number 15, with our northern neighbors Canada sitting at 13. Afghanistan ranked as the least happiest country. One contributing factor, their average life evaluation was a full 5 points lower than any other country. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's ION Travel Minute. Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Designed for curious travelers. Viking offers all-inclusive voyages on all 7 continents, with no children and no casinos on board. Learn more at Viking.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Judicial Watch says that they're about to release a report showing that more than 700,000, nearly 800,000 individuals are on Illinois' voter rolls that are inactive. Let me repeat that. Judicial Watch getting ready to release information and research indicating nearly 800,000 inactive voters are on Illinois' voter rolls. What does that mean exactly? And what kind of news did they release on Friday when it comes to Illinois elections? Good morning, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. Let's go ahead and head over to Judicial Watch's website, where they say that they got a victory. Illinois settles voter roll lawsuit, agrees to make voter registration list public. So today, Friday, it was announced that the federal election integrity lawsuit on behalf of the Illinois Conservative Union against the state of Illinois, the Illinois State Board of Education, and its director, which grants access to current centralized statewide list of registered voters for the state the past 15 elections. Think about that, the past 15 elections. Those have to be offered up now. So ultimately what happened here was the state of Illinois said that, yeah, you can inspect these records. You got to come to Springfield to inspect the records, but only during certain set of time. They were not making the documents and the records available for public inspection via electronic means. However, Friday's ruling ultimately means that digital copies of voter rolls from 15 election cycles here in Illinois are going to be made available to the plaintiffs in this case. Ultimately, that it's going to include a registrant's full name, residential street address, email address, telephone number, county and state voter identification number, age of the registrant, and the registrant's status, active or inactive. In the most recent dates, the entry was changed. Now, Tom Fenton, he is the founder of Judicial Watch. He said clear voter rolls mean cleaner elections, and he goes on to say that this is a victory for all legal voters in Illinois. Voters will have the transparency federal law requires in order to ensure elections in Illinois are more honest and cleaner. So I reached out to State Representative Brad Halbrook to get his take on what this ultimately means. And he shared with us his thoughts of the initial statement here of these voter rolls being made public, especially through electronic inspection.
Yeah, so it's a great day. The decision that's been handed down here for openness and transparency and attempting to restore faith in the voter system for the legal voters of the state of Illinois.
And I asked Halbrook to elaborate a bit on that, especially with having access to those 15 different cycles of Illinois elections. What does that ultimately mean for transparency?
Well, transparency, when we're involving the government in anything, has got to be crucial and is key. So if there's an effort to kind of restrict or suppress that transparency, that just throws up some red flags. So I think to restore faith in the system with the voters this level of transparency will go a long ways.
So, State Representative Brad Halbrook there responding to the Friday statements that individuals are going to be able to access up to 15 election cycles of voting data. Now, what's interesting here, too, is Judicial Watch just didn't announce that particular settlement with the state of Illinois. They also announced a forthcoming Judicial Watch study based on recent census data and information Illinois reported to the Federal Election Assistance Commission reveals 14% of Illinois' counties have more registered voters than citizens over the age of 18. Think about that. 14% of Illinois' counties have more registered voters than citizens over the age of 18, while Illinois as a whole has close to 800,000 inactive registrants. 800,000 inactive registrants. What does that mean? Well, State Representative Brad Halbrook responding to that number.
Well, those numbers alone are staggering. And, I don't know if they knew, kind of had an idea that it would be like that, but those are staggering numbers. And the very reason why we need the openness and transparency in an effort to clean up these voter rolls. Again, just another step to try to restore faith in the system, the election system for the voters of Illinois.
Now, a lot of times if you question an election outcome, if you're a Republican, you get called an election denier. If you're a Democrat in 2016, the mainstream media hops on your bandwagon and continues a story of Trump-Russia collusion without any merits, and they're throwing out all kinds of dots to try to have those dots connected, but they never were connected. But, you can see how the double standard here, right? People who have concerns about election outcomes get labeled a certain way on one side of the aisle, but labeled another way on the other side of the aisle. So all this does, Friday, what was announced was they're just going to open up the voter rolls to make sure, and this is something Judicial Watch does across the country, they want to make sure that there are clean voter rolls and not these hangers-on, right? These inactive registrants, which could open up the door for the possibility of some nefarious actions taking place. Judicial Watch also notes that they have pending litigation challenging Illinois' weeks-long election process, arguing that federal elections should be decided on Election Day, not weeks after the fact. Brad Halbrook asked him for some of his final thoughts on this entire situation.
Well, whether this would open itself up for fraud, many believe that fraud already exists. Okay, so in any time government's involved in anything, we believe that openness and transparency and sunshine is the best cure and is the best medicine. So I think this is a positive step to root out the fraud and the corruption that goes on in the election system. My additional thoughts is that the voter registration, the election system in Illinois has to be reformed dramatically. To continue to go down the same road year after year that the Illinois General Assembly is going down has to change. These 40 days prior to Election Day, vote by mail, early voting, ballots can be counted up to 14 days, the potential with ranked choice voting on the horizon. All this stuff is not good for clean and fair elections and has to be reformed.
So again, that's State Representative Brad Halbrook talking about the statement released by Judicial Watch on Friday saying that the Illinois Conservative Union and some registered voters are going to get access to 15 election cycles worth of voter rolls from across the state to go through and to evaluate the integrity of the voter rolls. And commenter on YouTube says, congratulations to Carol Davis and all her hard work, citizen activism at work. We're actually going to be connecting with Carol a little bit later on this morning to discuss this even further and what she's looking for in this voter roll data. So be looking forward to that. That'll come up after 8 o'clock this morning live. But of course, you can catch all interviews and various topics anytime you need to. Just follow me online, Bishop on Air on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you can find interview segments there. Again, just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. All right, we'll talk about some social media updates coming up next. Is Twitter changing its name to X? What's going on there? So stay tuned. We'll get to that and more. It's here with WMAY. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got temperature around 91, and then tomorrow 91, and then by Wednesday 92. Sunny skies mostly throughout, and then Thursday and Friday it's going to be hot with highs in the upper 90s with sunshine. Right now 62 degrees at 6:51 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
The Landmark Auto Group is introducing their new #1 reason why you always do better at Landmark. Landmark for a lifetime. This incredible new reason to buy gives you an exceptional lifetime coverage on the vehicle you purchase at any Landmark store. This Pro-certified lifetime warranty will be available on new and pre-owned vehicles. That's coverage for unlimited time, unlimited miles with no cost to you. Landmark for a lifetime. Just another reason why you always do better. Landmark Chrysler Jeep wants to thank you for a successful Midnight Madness sale. It's because of their great customer base and community that they can offer these amazing deals for 10 years. If you missed it, don't fret. Landmark Chrysler Jeep just got a ton of great local trade-ins and is extending the sale pricing at 4.5% financing for 78 months through July 31st. So hurry in for your last chance at Midnight Madness savings at Landmark Chrysler Jeep Prairie Crossing Drive. You always do better.
A new study finds a markedly higher risk of death among older people with dementia after they receive an opioid prescription. In the first 2 weeks of new opioid use, the risk of death increased 11-fold compared to those not receiving the medications. The study was reported at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference. Dr. Nicole Purcell is Senior Director of Clinical Practice at the Alzheimer's Association.
As a basic rule, pain should never go untreated, and heightened attention is needed when working with people who cannot clearly articulate their pain. These new findings emphasize the need for thoughtful discussions between doctors, families, and patients about the risks and benefits of strong pain medications and consideration of alternative approaches.
Among 75,000 older people diagnosed with dementia over 10 years, a third of those getting an opioid prescription died within 6 months of receiving it. More research is needed to understand why opioids are related to excess deaths in this vulnerable group. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Summer's heating things up, outside and on the grill. Whether you're smoking a brisket or grilling up veggies, Kingsford Original Charcoal delivers the consistent performance and smoky wood-fired flavor barbecuers crave. Kingsford Original lights faster and has a long burn time, giving you the ultimate grilling experience. So grab a bag of Kingsford Original Charcoal. Kingsford.com. Kingsford Original Charcoal lights faster and delivers consistent performance compared to nationally available charcoal in the USA.
If we've learned anything from recent news, it's that unexpected things are happening. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Government emails are hacked. There's talk of how to fight World War III, and trade of grains and food are being disrupted. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing. But you know better. It's time to invest in self-reliance and emergency food storage now, more than ever. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunch, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
So what do you think of Twitter's new logo that Elon Musk has put out there? Apparently, he's moving everything to X. And he's talked about this in the past. He wants to make an everything app. An app that does everything for you. But there's concern that it could very well turn into what China has for their citizens, a everything app that really allows for China to just have mass surveillance of the public. But Elon Musk, he's changing the bird logo to X. What's going on here? Even splashing X up on Twitter headquarters building. But let me see here. He did retweet his new CEO talking about X is the future state of unlimited interactivity, centered in audio, video, messaging, payments, and banking, creating a global marketplace for ideas, goods, services, and opportunities powered by AI. X will connect us all in ways we're just beginning to imagine. She goes on to say that it's an exceptionally rare thing, and this is from Linda Yaccarino. It's an exceptionally rare thing in the life or in business that you get a second chance to make another big impression. Twitter made one massive impression and changed the way we communicate. Now X will go further, transforming the global town square. X.com now points to Twitter.com, according to Elon Musk. X.com. That's quite the website to have. Now, obviously, this is all while you've also got the Meta company, Facebook, and Threads. Apparently, they've seen consistent declining engagement on Threads, which is supposed to be a direct competitor to Twitter. And there's concerns all around here, right? I mean, we just had that hearing in Congress about social media censorship and governments working with social media companies. Elon Musk didn't like that, so he bought Twitter. Exposed a whole bunch of it, including the FBI, essentially having former employees work at Twitter and just all of the communications going back and forth. So is Elon Musk going to stand true to the efforts of fighting against censorship, or is this all a way to just continue to compartmentalize ourselves into these social media companies to make that our portal into the internet, which you can't deny the internet is an incredible tool to connect people and to bypass censors. But if we all just confine ourselves into the ghettos of social media, then we're not necessarily going to get the full picture that we need to be fully informed citizens in this constitutional republic. All right, stay tuned. We got much more coming up. It's now 7 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Nguyen. Hundreds of thousands of people continuing to march against a judicial overhaul in Israel. ABC's Jordana Miller has more on the fight against a bill to be voted on today that would strip the court system of much of its power.
Many from Tel Aviv coming from a large park nearby where they pitched dozens of tents and camped out over the weekend. Encircled by thousands on their feet, hundreds of protesters are sitting, linking arms right in front of Parliament. Police removing some, no major clashes. Sources telling ABC News Netanyahu's government and the opposition are close to a compromise. What would call off the votes later today. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
The Justice Department demanding Texas remove large floating buoys meant to deter migrants out of the Rio Grande or face legal action. Governor Greg Abbott says Texas has the authority to defend its border. Temperatures continuing to soar across the country. The mayor of Palm Springs, California, telling ABC News.
We're adding shade to our playgrounds. We're working on shaded paths, walking paths in our city. And we want people to be able to be protected even when they are outside.
In Phoenix, a possible 25th consecutive day of 110 degrees or more today. Elon Musk changing up Twitter again. This time, ABC's Derek Dennis says the logo and the name itself appear to be flying away.
The splashy sound of a major change coming to Twitter, and X on the verge of replacing the iconic Bluebird logo. Owner Elon Musk tweeting, and soon we shall bid adieu to the Twitter brand and gradually all the birds. Musk has already slashed Twitter's workforce by 75% since buying the company in October for $44 billion. He's imposed an $8 a month subscription fee for blue check marks and changed the company's name to X Corporation in business documents.
This is ABC News.
Embarrassed by ugly yellow toe fungus?
Living with toe fungus it's embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off. I hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody.
Introducing Crystal Flush. Crystal Flush is the only FDA-registered 2-in-1 home treatment that attacks your toe fungus from both the inside and out. Crystal Flush's new and different combination system knocks out toe fungus for good. Guaranteed.
Crystal Flush is different. After just a few weeks, my fungus was gone. 100% disappeared. Crystal Flush was the only thing that ever worked. So if you're skeptical because you tried a bunch of other stuff, Crystal Flush is different. This is a game changer.
Crystal Flush is now available without a prescription, but it is not available in stores. Get your risk-free supply today. Go to crystalflush.com. That's CRYSTAL flush.com. Stop being embarrassed by ugly yellow toenails. Go to crystalflush.com or call 800-204-4.
All right, coming up, we'll connect with William Kelly out of Chicago and get the latest on the ground there. Mayor Brandon Johnson holding events, but is he getting questions from the media? So stay tuned for that. We'll also talk about the tipped minimum wage, new rules from DCFS being blocked by legislators, and if there's time this hour, we may talk about whether or not you checked out any movies this weekend at theaters. So stay tuned. On this Monday morning, it's Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 7:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. About 2/3 of Illinois is in a moderate drought condition or worse, an improvement over the past 2 weeks. With no rain in the forecast, however, drought conditions are expected to get worse. Corn and soybean crops are stressed throughout most of the state, and temperatures in the Springfield area are expected to be in the mid-90s this week. But a local farmer says the winter wheat harvest that wrapped up in late June was actually boosted by the dry weather last month. Chicago-based blues band Dave Weld and the Imperial Flames will appear live in Springfield tonight at the Alamo. Blue Mondays at the Alamo are sponsored in part by the Illinois Central Blues Club. The show starts at 7 o'clock p.m., and the Alamo is located at 115 North 5th Street. A link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. A White House official says President Joe Biden will establish a national monument honoring Emmett Till, a black teenager from Chicago who was tortured and killed in 1955 after being accused of whistling at a white woman in Mississippi. His lynching and his mother's insistence on an open casket helped galvanize the civil rights movement. The official says Biden will sign a proclamation on Tuesday to create the Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument across 3 sites in Illinois and Mississippi. Tuesday is the anniversary of Till's birth in 1941. Lincoln, Illinois Mayor Tracy Welch appeared on the WHOW morning show Friday and said that he expects Lincoln College to reopen. He said there were enough people committed to bringing the campus back to life to make it happen, but he was short on details about how the school might be different. Mayor Welch said it won't be exactly like Lincoln College as we've known it, but what it will look like remains to be seen. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
The Silsa Wow Award is an opportunity for our community to recognize unsung heroes, those who make a difference in others' lives through simple acts of kindness or superior customer service. Kindness is a gift to share, and by embracing it, we can all make Springfield a happier place. Do you know someone deserving recognition simply for being kind? Then please take a moment to nominate them for a Wow Award today at silsa-springfield.com. That's CILCSA-springfield.com. The Wow Award is proudly featured on 92.7 WMAY.
Decluttering your home? Getting rid of business junk? Kick it to the curb. Let the 2 men and a truck junk removal specialist haul it away for you. Our professionally trained team will swing by to pick up and dispose of junk or any unwanted items you're ready to get rid of. No need to go through the hassle of renting a dumpster and taking care of it yourself. We make it easy with our 2 men and a truck junk removal service. We'll haul as little or as much as you need. 2 men and a truck junk removal. Visit 2menandatruck.com for more information.
Everywhere with the WMAY app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny skies today with a high near 92. Slight chance of showers overnight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 93, low around 73. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 93. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or two. Thursday, sunny and hot with a high near 96, and Friday, sunny and hot with a high near 97. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday at 4:30 and 6:30. Sponsored by Edward Jones. Making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
Brain freeze! Blue tongue, purple lips, how long will it last? All summer at Snowbiz. Everybody's favorite summer stop is back with more flavors than you can count. And every Tuesday is buy one, get one free day. Snowbiz, Laurel, west of MacArthur.
Don't miss the Illinois Air National Guard 183rd Wing Open House in conjunction with the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, August 5th and 6th from 10 until 3. Come see the C-130 Hercules, the KC-135 Stratotanker, and the T-38 Talon aircraft. Take a tour of the base facilities and meet the members of the world's greatest Air Force who work right here in Springfield. A shuttle bus will take you from the airport onto the base. That's the weekend of August 5th and 6th. For more information, call 217-757-1712.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Lavina Roach. I was married for almost 65 years, and I have 4 kids, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandkids. I've been here for 5 months. It's so clean. Everybody's wonderful. It makes you feel more like home. And I don't think there's any place in town that's as nice as this one.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
And now an important safety message for Beyonce from Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
At least 70 people shot and nearly a dozen dead.
The attack was one of at least 62 armed robberies that happened across the city.
Hello, everyone. It's your Mayor, Brandon Johnson.
Mr. Mayor,
I'd like to give a big
what is your
Chicago
plan to
welcome
keep Chicago
to the
safe
talented,
this summer?
the calm, cool, and collected. The summer Renaissance woman herself, Beyonce. Your upcoming performance
Mr. Mayor,
in Chicago
how are you
is
going to keep
sure to
Beyonce
be an
safe if you
experience
can't keep
that
Chicagoans
fans
safe?
will never forget. Our city is certainly feeling the energy.
Mr. Mayor.
And to Beyonce's
Mr.
Beehive,
Mayor.
please make yourself at home in our great city.
How are you going to keep
If you get
Beyonce's
too
fans
heated,
safe?
Take a dip in the crystalline waters of Lake Michigan. And
They're-
don't forget
they're pulling
to check
bodies out of Lake
world
Michigan.
famous CTA when you're on the move.
World famous for
we
violent
want to
crime?
be all up in your mind long after you're gone.
And police are looking for suspects in a strong armed robbery at a red line station. The
felony charges for a robbery on the CTA.
So, cozy up, relax, and have a safe and fun concert experience.
Relax and hand over your valuables? Is that a siren?
Well, as we do each and every week at this time, let's check in with William Kelly. He is a reporter out of Chicago. He joins us now. William, you've got a video that's circulating on social media that really kind of highlights the fact that Brandon Johnson hasn't taken many questions from the media as of late, instead deciding to put out short little social media videos of sorts. Thanks for taking time with us this morning. William J. Kelly, talk about that video presentation you put together. Good morning.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, Greg. God bless you. Mayor Do Nothing Johnson, I guess, is really the headline here. When he was asked, I guess over a month ago, what his plan was to keep Chicagoans safe this summer, he said, give me money. Show me money. Give me more money. First, give me the money. He didn't have a plan, and he seems to be proud of the fact that he doesn't have a plan. He's not addressing the issues that matter to real Chicagoans. As a lifelong Chicagoan, I can tell you, clean, safe streets. That is the basics right there, okay? And if you can fill a pothole or two along the way, that would be a bonus. He's not doing any of those things. Instead, he releases a video welcoming Beyonce to Chicago, which would be fine if he was doing that in conjunction with the other basic services that the mayor and the city should be providing the law-abiding citizens.
So when it comes to what you've seen in the previous administration out of Chicago with Lori Lightfoot, she held somewhat kind of regular news conferences. You were a part of a lot of those until you were prohibited by having your press credentials revoked. Definitely want to get an update on where we're at with that. But compare Lightfoot to Johnson so far. Is there any comparison as far as access to the media, especially considering at one point Lightfoot said she was only going to grant access to people of color for one-on-one interviews? Have you seen a similarity or a complete contrast?
Well, definitely a complete contrast. Mayor Lori Lightfoot thought that she was going to improve her chances of reelection by debating with me. I would go to the press conference to ask my 2 questions because that was her protocol. You could ask a question and a follow-up if warranted. And instead of answering my questions, as and people, if they've never seen it, it is unusual to say the least. You could go to reporterwilliamjkelly.com and scroll down more confrontation videos with Lori Lightfoot than I could have ever imagined she would engage in. But she thought it was going to help her reelection campaign until she saw the numbers and she realized, no, this is not helping. Or somebody got to her and said, look, this, telling William Kelly that crime is down and that he's stupid for even asking about 80 shootings a weekend is not a good reelection campaign strategy. So she yanked my media credential. Well, we're still in federal court, even though Lightfoot's gone and we have a new Mayor Johnson. My Chicago media credential, so I can go to City Hall press conferences, is still in federal court. Greg, you can't make this stuff up. And we will be, our next court date is August 2nd. It's a classic First Amendment case. This is the first court date since Mayor Johnson has been elected mayor. Our hope is that the Corporation Council will say, okay, look, new mayor, fresh start, Kelly gets his media credential back. If not, we have to add Mayor Johnson's name to the lawsuit and sue him and continue on with a federal First Amendment lawsuit. Greg, as if we don't have enough problems, right?
Well, and I was going to ask too, when it comes to the issue of, the costs here, it's not cheap to go to court. If the Johnson administration says, hey, we're going to go ahead and give you your press credentials back, what does that mean for the costs that you've incurred to file this litigation?
Well, thank you for asking, Greg. You would think that in the United States of America, the First Amendment wouldn't even be a question. The reason why this is so scary and so dangerous is because if you've read George Orwell, if you've read the Founding Fathers, you know that the first they come after in every society that has ever gone totalitarian, first they go after freedom of speech. And then once they've censored reporters, once they've prevented people from even thinking the thoughts that they used to take for granted, then that's when they can take your freedom away from you. Don't think it couldn't happen here. I believe that we need to win this lawsuit because, as anyone should know in this country by now, there's something called legal precedent. And if they succeed in stripping me of my First Amendment rights in the city of Chicago, I'm telling you, Greg, I don't have to tell you, you know this, they'll go after every reporter, every radio host, every platform where you have even one voice asking even one question that is not approved. And I remember growing up, going to school, hearing teachers, liberal teachers, by the way, saying that the First Amendment was everyone's right, that we had to respect people's opinions, that questioning authority was a good thing, and here we are now, believe it or not, in the the greatest democracy on planet Earth, and I have to go to a federal court on August 2nd to see if I can get my media credential back.
Talking with William J. Kelly, reporter out of Chicago. William, something else that you've touched on in Chicago, and I'd love to hear what you're hearing on the ground there about no cash bail after the Illinois Supreme Court last week upheld the law, giving a September 18th date for counties across the state to implement no cash bail. What are you hearing on the streets?
Greg, the violent crime in Chicago is spiraling out of control. Last night in Streeterville, downtown Chicago, 2 women were stabbed by an offender, and this was at 8:30 in the evening, leaving a wedding party, apparently, and I will drill down on the details a little bit more today. And if you want to find out more, reporter WilliamJKelly.com is the place to go, or William J. Kelly on Twitter. But what happened was there was a large altercation that spilled over into, from what I'm hearing, a wedding party, and a repeat offender, someone who was known to the police, took a broken bottle and attacked 2 women who are now in the hospital with lacerations to their arms and face, obvious defense wounds. These were not aggressors, obviously. So, we need to report on these stories, Greg, because at best they're one-day stories. At worst, they become something people get no justice. There are multiple examples of people who were the victims of violent crime, repeat violent offenders, people with long violent felonies on their records, who were then charged as co-combatants, so that the Cook County State's Attorney, from what I'm told from people in the State's Attorney's office and in the police, could just say, co-combatants, and then not charge anyone. This is the way that, sadly, one of the many ways that has been used to try and minimize violent crime in Chicago, to just simply say, they were co-combatants. No, I don't think that a repeat violent offender attacking a purely innocent tourist it qualifies as a co-combatant situation.
Well, William J. Kelly will definitely be watching close as to what happens, and appreciate you jumping on with us each and every week to give us a ground level view of what's going on in Chicago. And we'll definitely be touching base about your court hearing next month and how that ultimately goes. So greatly appreciate you taking the time with us as always, William J. Kelly. Be safe out there, all right?
You too. Thank you. God bless.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Follow me anywhere, Bishop on air, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and we can connect that way. Now 7:22. Let's take a break and come back and talk about the tipped minimum wage. Stay tuned.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road? First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These 3 simple steps can be the difference between life and death. The next time you're on the road, do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it. Sponsored by the Illinois Broadcasters Association. Aired in cooperation with this station. Thanks to the AAA Auto Club for their financial support in the airing of this message.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine saving lives. John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
This could be the start of a break-in.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Or the end of one. Introducing 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Knowledge is power, and you deserve to know what happens in your state government. That's why the Center Square's reporting zeroes in on state authorities publishing stories that show where your money goes and who spends it. The Center Square gives power to the taxpayer by tracking politicians' use of the people's money and demanding transparency from state-run agencies. This is how the Center Square equips you, the American taxpayer, to hold your state government accountable. Sign up now for your state Center Square newsletter at thecentersquare.com.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Shop the largest selection of Amish and American-made furniture all in one location at Hendricks Home Furnishings. From living room upholstery and accent tables to bedroom, dining room, and home office furniture. Select your sizes, wood finishes, colors, leathers, and fabrics of your choice. At Hendricks, the options are endless for style and comfort that will last a lifetime. Come shop Amish and American-made furniture on sale now. Hendricks Home Furnishings in Verdon and online at hendricks.tv, where you can always talk to the owners.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Let's talk about the tipped minimum wage with continued pushes to raise Illinois' wage for tipped workers, but a study is showing that servers' tips would decrease. I worked in the service sector for quite some time as a server, as a bartender, as somebody who worked in the kitchen with food prep and unloading trucks at early morning hours. And I definitely know it's a tough job, but if you've got a certain inkling towards providing the best service possible, you can really make a fair amount of money. But there are some that say that they don't like the idea of only working on tips. And that's got this ongoing conversation about possibly even increasing the minimum wage for tipped workers statewide. A measure at the State House did not advance, but it could be something that comes up in Chicago. But a new study is revealing that raising tipped minimum wage has a significant negative impact on tip percentages by state. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson endorsed the one fair wage movement, saying that workers who earn the so-called tipped minimum wage are more vulnerable to sexual harassment and abuse than other employees. Here is
This is about
Mayor
investing
Johnson.
in people. Black women, brown women, heads of household, because by investing in people, we strengthen the backbone of our economy.
But Rebecca Paxton, the director of research at the nonprofit Employment Policies Institute, she says that one flat wage states that have this, see lower tips, and some workers will most likely lose their jobs because of it.
American economists across the board agree that, as you raise the minimum wage, jobs suffer. So obviously that raises labor costs for any business.
And she goes on to say that a lot of servers and bartenders are actually opposing the idea. There's been pushback, and they say that it would result in lower tips for those workers.
We don't want this to be changed because essentially it turns it into a flat wage job. And a lot of people are attracted to the hospitality and restaurant industry so that they can make tips and they can interact with customers and create a great dining experience. So a lot of servers are pretty opposed to this.
So the research that Paxton has shows that 6 out of 7 states that have eliminated their tip credits are the bottom half of all state tipping percentages. Statewide minimum average minimum wage here in Illinois is $13, and it's increasing to $14 January 1st of 2024. Tipped workers get 60% of the state's minimum wage, and if a tipped worker does not make at least minimum wage when they calculate all their tips, the restaurant has to make up the difference to get to that minimum wage. But you do have at least one prominent restaurant over in Colorado that was purchased by the creators of South Park. They have eliminated tipping at Casa Bonita. And I do plan on going to Casa Bonita sometime in the near future. And when I go, I'm still going to tip. So I hope that the server that's making $30 an hour at Casa Bonita still appreciates the tip that I plan on giving. But there's concerns, right? There's concerns that if you don't have the tip wage, then you're taking away all of the merit-based approach to providing awesome service. So we'll see what happens. An interesting experiment here in the United States, but we'll be watching all the data and how that breaks down. All right, stay tuned. Daycare workers, daycare facilities, some rules that DCFS put in place were blocked. We'll get to the latest there coming up. Right now, though, it's 7:32. Let's get a check of some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The SAFETY Act takes effect September 18th, and as a result, states' attorneys will need to come to bail hearings better prepared than before. However, local law enforcement doesn't believe that much will change. Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell pointed out that detainees will have to make a petition and that release decisions will depend on the severity of the charge, criminal history, and flight risk, criteria that judges already consider every day. Campbell said that many of the 280 prisoners currently in custody in Sangamon County will not be eligible for release. Chicago-based blues band Dave Weld and the Imperial Flames will appear live in Springfield tonight at the Alamo. Blue Mondays at the Alamo are sponsored in part by the Illinois Central Blues Club. The show starts at 7 o'clock p.m., and the Alamo is located at 115 North 5th Street. A link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. The Pharmacy Gallery in Springfield has issued a call for applicants for its Emerging Artist Program. The program is sponsored by the Springfield Area Arts Council and the Illinois Arts Council. The Pharmacy Gallery offers a subsidized art learning experience in a studio gallery environment mentored by professional artists. Candidates must be high school graduates and should present a portfolio of recent work and an artist statement. More information can be found at WMAY.com. A White House official says President Joe Biden will establish a national monument honoring Emmett Till, a black teenager from Chicago who was tortured and killed in 1955 after being accused of whistling at a white woman in Mississippi. His lynching and his mother's insistence on an open casket helped galvanize the civil rights movement. The official says Biden will sign a proclamation on Tuesday to create the Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument across 3 sites in Illinois and Mississippi. Tuesday is the anniversary of Till's birth in 1941. Commercial shippers are weighing their options about carrying Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea. Russia has attacked Ukrainian ports key to sending grain to the world for several days straight and withdrew from a deal whereby they had permitted grain shipments to be exported unmolested. Wheat prices worldwide are expected to spike as a spokesman for an international marine insurer group said it's unlikely that underwriters will want to cover that risk. Lincoln, Illinois Mayor Tracy Welch appeared on the WHOW morning show Friday and said that he expects Lincoln College to reopen. He said there were enough people committed to bringing the campus back to life to make it happen, but he was short on details about how the school might be different. Mayor Welch said it won't be exactly like Lincoln College as we've known it, but what it will look like remains to be seen. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
WMAY News, brought to you by The Inn at 835. Let The Inn at 835 handle your next business or social gathering with style.
Are you tired of mowing your driveway? Tired of pulling and spraying weeds in your driveway? Are you tired of buying replacement rock every year? Did you tell yourself you wouldn't go through another winter with that driveway? Well, call Cousin Bill and the crew at Illinois Paving today. Sit back and let Illinois Paving do the work. We prepare and install. So call Cousin Bill today. ISlepaving.com. ISlepaving.com.
What are you hungry for?
Obed and Isaac sounds good.
They're always busy.
Yeah, they are. It's because the food is great. The selection of craft beer is amazing, and it's downtown. It couldn't be in a better location.
What if we have to wait?
We'll put in our name, give them our number to text us when our table is ready, and then go next door to the 7th Street Cidery and start there.
I like the way you think. They serve meads too, right?
Yeah, they do. You can get your mead, and I'll start with a flight of cider. They're constantly getting new ciders on tap all the time.
What if Obed's isn't busy and they seat us right away?
The cidery doesn't close till 11, so we can just finish the night there.
You've got this all figured out, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You should see my reward points that I've built up.
So, you're buying, right?
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
No, you didn't.
Obed and Isaac's Microbrewery, located in downtown Springfield, right next door to the 7th Street Cidery. Enjoy.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Listen at home with your Amazon smart speaker. Alexa, play WMAY 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny skies today with a high near 92. Slight chance of showers overnight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 93, low around 73. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 93, slight chance of an afternoon shower or two. Thursday, sunny and hot with a high near 96, and Friday, sunny and hot with a high near 97. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
I think what people want from their doctors, as much as anything, is a partner in their care. I'm Dr. Chris McDowell, a physician with SIU Medicine. Our clinical excellence is unmatched in the region. We're home to the latest technology, the best people. But what sets us apart is our commitment to our patients. Being there for them as a partner, a supporter, as an advocate, and even a neighbor. That's what makes SIU Medicine so unique. Learn more at siumed.org.
Brain freeze!
What is the magic that's in Snowbiz Shave Ice? How in the universe of all things can you take plain ice and transform it into a summer specialty? Where do these Snowbiz flavors come from? How long will your lips and tongue be purple? Snowbiz is ready for another taste bud chilling summer with the biggest Snowbiziest collection of flavors ever seen. And Tuesdays are buy one, get one free. Snowbiz.
Snowbiz.
Laurel, just west of MacArthur.
Illini family, this is Josh Whitman. Illinois football is coming off its best season in more than a decade, which makes this the perfect time for you to join us at Memorial Stadium. Single game tickets are now on sale with special preseason prices. From now until August 7th, tickets will be the lowest you'll see all season long, and that is our family first promise. Don't miss out on big games like Penn State, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. Get your tickets at fightingillini.com before August 7th. ILL.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Dave Ramsey here. Smart Conference is coming up in Chicago, September 15th through 16th, and 92.7 WMAY is giving you a chance to win VIP tickets. Go to WMAY.com to enter.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
A bipartisan group of state legislators blocking an emergency rule that the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services put out dealing with daycare regulations. Back at it. Good morning. I'm Greg Bishop with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk and the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. If you're not familiar with this group, it's a bipartisan group. It's got equal number of Republicans and equal number of Democrats, and they essentially field all of the administrative rules that state agencies write and implement, be they permanent rules or be they emergency rules, when it comes to implementing state law. So the state legislature, the General Assembly, the House and Senate, they pass a bill and the governor signs it if it's got directives, say for instance, the semi-automatic firearms ban, right? Along with that came rulemaking authority for the Illinois State Police to make rules, craft rules, and to file those rules to implement and enact the Protect Illinois Communities Act. Well, the same thing goes for all the other state agencies. And sometimes state agencies are given certain latitude that allows them to craft rules regulating certain aspects of our society. And JCAR, the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, while they don't approve rules, they do review them, and if they don't agree with them, if they find them to be too onerous for a certain industry, or if they find them just to not be in, you know, the scope of the actual law, then JCAR can block those rules and oppose those rules. And that's exactly what happened last week during a JCAR hearing that included a variety of different state agencies, but in particular, the Department of Children and Family Services. They were there having to address the concerns that were raised by legislature to see what they can do to shore up these rules. So previous policy that the Department of Children and Family Services had implemented allowed daycare center assistants to daycare centers to monitor rooms of children under the age of 2 for up to 3 hours a day, rather than the new rule that was under debate only allowing for 90 minutes. That allowance was an emergency policy during COVID to allow for the 3 hours of observation, but it was never adopted in a permanent rule despite daycare providers' requests to DCFS to make that happen. So a resolution that was read and ultimately passed unanimously by that bipartisan group of state legislators said that the rule imposes unnecessary economic costs on daycare providers, many of whom have relied on this policy for at least 3 years and may be forced to curtail their hours or reduce their number of classrooms as a direct result of this emergency rule. JCAR finds these specific provisions of this emergency rule pose a threat to the public interest and welfare. So that's pretty clear that JCAR feels that the emergency rules that the Department of Children and Family Services implemented cause a threat to public interest and welfare. That's a quote, a threat to the public interest and welfare. But during the hearing last week, you had Democrats and Republicans raise legitimate concerns they had. We'll start here with, I believe this is Dave Valla, who is a Democrat from the suburbs, and he shared his concerns with the rule and how it's impacting daycare providers.
You have a group of people who are running daycares, and I think we can all acknowledge that there are definitely staffing issues across the state, especially in relation to daycare, and they're watching and waiting for a new rule, emergency rule, to come out, and nothing has dropped in this month, and that has put people in that I believe that we were all fairly clear concerned about these business owners being sent there in limbo, and they were stuck again in limbo for a month. It feels as though, I think from some of us, that there have been some prevarications from DCFS, and I'm just a little frustrated. So
prevarications means lack of candor, means not being truthful. More from the hearing, State Representative
What's your
Stephen Reich.
solution? Because they are screaming for people to be able to do this job. What's your solution other than denying them the ability to have the flexibility to do the kinds of things that they need to do in order to keep their doors open? I don't think you folks belong in this business. This is not part of your portfolio. Your portfolio is to protect the safety of children, not to license daycare centers. All mandated reporters, if there is a safety issue with regard to it, they're required to report to you, and that's where you come into play. But until that happens, I don't believe you belong in this business, and I believe somebody else is.
So again, state representatives from both parties upset about the rules and the lack of listening to the daycare providers and what they need to thrive. We hear regularly that there's a shortage of daycare operations and staff, and even the governor's carving out tens of millions of dollars to address the issue, but it's still something that very much is not resolved here when it comes to the rules being implemented. And you had State Senator Sue Rezin upset that this seems to be being done regularly with state administration, with the Pritzker administration executive agencies.
Many of the departments are being given great latitude to make decisions that need to go through the legislative process and the debate, and more importantly, the education. As you can tell, we're not, some of us, experts in this field. So for you to sit and explain why it's important that's, for me, a legislative process with a committee hearing and a debate.
So again, it seems that the rule that's in question here deals with limiting daycare assistants' ability to monitor rooms with children under the age of 2. And that was something that the DCFS officials there said that they need to keep in place because they've received hundreds of complaints, and that shows to them and the policy is needed.
These numbers clearly show that leaving an assistant alone without a qualified teacher is a safety concern that cannot be ignored.
But they went ahead and blocked the rule, so it looks like that rule is not in place as of now. DCFS is supposed to be coming back to JCAR in the month ahead with a new set of proposed rules, but the frustration was they were supposed to do that 30 days before. But they only filed the new rules whenever it was the last hours before the hearing was set to take place with the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules. So fascinating to see. Again, this is really how the sausage is made, right? You've got this little-known group. People don't necessarily understand how it works. It's a bipartisan group, select lawmakers from both the House and the Senate, equal number of Republicans and Democrats. They field these rules, and they seem to be voicing concern that the Pritzker administration is continuing on with emergency rules when there's not necessarily an emergency in place. And instead of going through the legislative process, you have this emergency rulemaking that's going on and implementing essentially policy without the legislators the ones crafting the policy. We saw the same exact concern during that same JCAR meeting when it comes to the rules the Pritzker administration filed for undocumented migrant health care, seeming to say that the Pritzker administration had carte blanche to create the rules, but not really much by way of tapping into the stakeholders in these conversations or with the legislators in these conversations. But when it comes to getting it into JCAR, then all of a sudden you see indeed there are some significant concerns and problems. So we'll keep an eye on what happens there. But of course, daycare operators, that emergency rule has been suspended per JCAR when it comes to allowing for assistance to monitor rooms with children under the age of 2 for more than 90 minutes. All right, stay tuned. I want to hear from you. Did you go to a movie this weekend? I went and saw Oppenheimer, and, it was pretty good. Did you go out and see Barbie? We'll get to one reviewer that says all of the people freaking out about Barbie got it wrong. So we'll get to that coming up next here. It's now 7:49 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
The Landmark Auto Group is introducing their new #1 reason why you always do better at Landmark. Landmark for a lifetime. This incredible new reason to buy gives you an exceptional lifetime coverage on the vehicle you purchase at any Landmark store. This pro-certified lifetime warranty will be available on new and pre-owned vehicles. That's coverage for unlimited time, unlimited miles with no cost to you. Landmark for a lifetime. Just another reason why you always do better. Landmark Chrysler Jeep wants to thank you for a successful Midnight Madness sale. It's because of their great customer base and community that they can offer these amazing deals for 10 years. If you missed it, don't fret. Landmark Chrysler Jeep just got a ton of great local trade-ins and is extending the sale pricing at 4.5% financing for 78 months through July 31st. So hurry in for your last chance at Midnight Madness savings at Landmark Chrysler Jeep Prairie Crossing Drive. You always do better.
Next up at the Muni, it's School of Rock. This show follows Dewey Finn, a failed wannabe rock star who decides to earn extra cash by posing as a substitute teacher at a prestigious prep school. There, he turns a class of straight-A pupils into a guitar-shredding, bass-slapping, mind-blowing rock band. But can he get them into Battle of the Bands without their parents and the school's head mistress finding out? Sickage presents School of Rock, opening August 4th at the Muni. Get tickets at the box office or themuni.org.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators. I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Yuck.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else. No TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad. They're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them. Our delivery people are better at installing them. And our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best thing.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store. Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Well, the Barbie movie came out on top over the weekend over Oppenheimer, but still up there at the top as well is The Sound of Freedom, an independent movie that focuses on the problems of child human trafficking. But Barbie came on and Oppenheimer came on, and you get the outcome of Barbie taking the top billing at the box office. Did you see any of those over the weekend? Would love to hear from you at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. Again, 217-629-7970. Would love to hear from you. I went to go see Oppenheimer, and I got to say, seeing it in IMAX was a totally different experience. Not because of the curved screen. It was freaking loud. Like, holy cow. Megan and I were like, we should have brought like earplugs or something because it was just so loud. Typically, I get that kind of a thing at a KMFDM concert, right? Where you're sitting there and you're feeling the bass through your bones. But it very much was, I get they were trying to, give you that sense and to make you feel the music, but it was a little much. The movie, well done. Christopher Nolan, he's got the knack for just really keeping a movie fast-paced, and that very much was the case. And really, stuck close to the historic story of Robert Oppenheimer being tasked with the Manhattan Project to, get enough uranium to try to build a bomb after Germans initially split the atom, and then in the heat of World War II, they needed to, of course, beat the Germans, but the Germans ultimately fell, and then they still had the bomb, and they figured they would go ahead and launch and drop bombs on Japan, not once but twice. But the movie, not just about the, inner workings of the Manhattan Project, it really was about the character of Oppenheimer. And I did not realize just how much he had gone through. I knew there were questions about some of his communist sympathies that he had in his early part of his career, but seemed to abandon. That very much was a focus of the overall storyline of Oppenheimer. And I think it was, again, well done. Christopher Nolan did an incredible job. But Oppenheimer, of course, came in second at the box office, only behind Barbie, which if you were at the box office, likely you saw a whole bunch of individuals checking out the Barbie movie. But I've seen some reviews here and there that were like, oh, it's all about wokeism. It's just pure woke ideology and so on. Somebody had a different take. Somebody who I think is kind of going against the grain here. Laura Loomer, if you're familiar with Laura Loomer, very controversial figure. Somebody who was banned from Twitter for some time. I believe YouTube also banned her at some point. But either way, she's back on Twitter now. And here's her review of Barbie. Don't listen to people who are telling you the Barbie movie is, quote, woke. If anything, It's a genius mockery of wokeism, she said. The movie revolves around the fact that there are only two genders. It admits that in order to be a real woman, you have to have a vagina. And in order to be a man, you have to have a penis. The movie's a mockery of feminism and suggests that if you want to have a world that's unrealistic and run by women, then it's a fantasy land like Barbie Land, where women think that they're in control, but children are actually controlling their destiny. The movie revolves around the concept that men run the real world, which is true. The movie also mocks youth who use the term fascism to attack things and people they don't like. Ultimately, the female protagonist of the film decides that she is happier living in the real world than that's run by men. Barbie also tells Ken that he's more than simply what a woman thinks he is. It reaffirms that men don't exist solely for the sake of satisfying women. That is an empowering and anti-simp message for men. How on earth is that a woke message? If anything, it's a mockery of woke and a mockery of being a simp. Go see Barbie, enjoy it, you'll love it. Laura Loomer endorsing the Barbie movie. That's wild.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Nguyen. The record-shattering heat continues battering states from coast to coast. ABC's Victor Okendo is in Miami, where they've seen a record 43 straight days of 100 degrees or more.
40 million people under heat alerts. The death toll climbing. In Texas, health officials say 4 people in the Fort Worth area have died within weeks. In California, 2 hikers are recovering after being rescued from Bell Canyon in Los Angeles this weekend. Officials saying it was heat-related illness with temperatures well into the 90s.
The city of Phoenix could see its 25th consecutive day of 110 degrees or more. The heat spreading now into parts of the Midwest and Great Plains as well. Texas given until midday to respond to an order to remove barbed wire-covered buoys in the Rio Grande. Congressman Joaquin Castro calling on the White House to also talk about a whistleblower claim that troopers at the border were allegedly given orders to push children back into the river and to refuse water to migrants in sweltering temperatures.
The president needs to speak up on this issue. He needs to say something. The administration needs to take action. The Department of Justice needs to fully investigate this.
Conversations have finally begun between the UN command and North Korea about Army soldier Travis King, who ran into the north last week.
General Andrew Harrison confirms the talk process has started, that the well-being of Private Travis King remains his primary concern.
None of us know where this is going to end, so I'm in life an optimist. I remain optimistic, but again, I'll leave that there.
U.S. officials have expressed concern about King's well-being and have previously said North Korea was ignoring their requests for information about him. His crossing has come as tensions ramp up on the peninsula. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Protests in Israel are continuing ahead of a critical vote today that would seriously overhaul the country's judicial system. A week-long wildfire on the Greek island of Rhodes, forcing thousands of evacuations. This is ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Earlier this morning, we talked about the voter rolls and Judicial Watch in the Illinois Conservative Union getting access to digital voter roll data. What's the significance of this? We'll talk with one of the individuals behind that, Carol Davis. She'll join us next here with Springfield's Morning News. Also this hour, we've got to talk about the Biden shakedown memo and electric school buses getting lots of subsidies with a new company in Illinois opening up their production facility. Just how much in tax subsidies are going to go to electric school buses. So stay tuned. We'll get to that coming up with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 8:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Chicago-based blues band Dave Weld and the Imperial Flames will appear live in Springfield tonight at the Alamo. Blue Mondays at the Alamo are sponsored in part by the Illinois Central Blues Club. The show starts at 7 o'clock tonight, and the Alamo is located at 115 North 5th Street. A link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. Commercial shippers are weighing their options about carrying Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea. Russia has attacked Ukrainian ports key to sending grain to the world for several days straight and withdrew from a deal whereby they had permitted grain shipments to be exported unmolested. Wheat prices worldwide are expected to spike as a spokesman for an international marine insurer group said it's unlikely that underwriters will want to cover that risk. The Safety Act takes effect September 18th, and as a result, states' attorneys will need to come to bail hearings better prepared than before. However, local law enforcement doesn't believe that much will change. Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell pointed out that detainees will have to make a petition and that release decisions will depend on the severity of the charge, criminal history, and flight risk, criteria that judges already consider every day. Campbell said that many of the 280 prisoners currently in custody will not be eligible for release. Excessive heat bearing down on much of the United States is a reminder of the reason the Inflation Reduction Act passed nearly a year ago. Since then, nearly 80 major clean energy manufacturing facilities have been announced, an investment equal to the previous 7 years combined, according to the American Clean Power Association. However, experts say that the IRA is not enough to guarantee the U.S. will reach its emission reduction targets outlined in the Paris Agreement to prevent the most severe impacts of climate change. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
The Landmark Auto Group is introducing their new #1 reason why you always do better at Landmark. Landmark for a lifetime. This incredible new reason to buy gives you an exceptional lifetime coverage on the vehicle you purchase at any Landmark store. This pro-certified lifetime warranty will be available on new and pre-owned vehicles. That's coverage for unlimited time, unlimited miles with no cost to you. Landmark for a lifetime. Just another reason why
You always do better at Landmark.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep wants to thank you for a successful Midnight Madness sale. It's because of their great customer base and community that they can offer these amazing deals for 10 years. If you missed it, don't fret. Landmark Chrysler Jeep just got a ton of great local trade-ins and is extending the sale pricing and 4.5% financing for 78 months through July 31st. So hurry in for your last chance at Midnight Madness savings at Landmark Chrysler Jeep Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators. I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Look.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else. No TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad. They're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them. Our delivery people are better at installing them. And our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best thing.
Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Everywhere you are with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny skies today with a high near 92. Slight chance of showers overnight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 93, low around 73. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 93. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or two. Thursday, sunny and hot with a high near 96. And Friday, sunny and hot with a high near 97. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
There's a reason your parents and grandparents keep going to Hendricks Home Furnishings. Trending styles, endless design options, and easy to deal with. It's the way their customers describe Hendricks Home Furnishings. And with competitive prices to the box stores in Springfield. If you're shopping for furniture and you haven't been to Verdon, you're missing the biggest and best showroom in Central Illinois. Check it out on Google 360 or come see them. They'll even pay for your gas down to Verdon. Hendricks Home Furnishings. See store for details.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
A settlement between a group of plaintiffs and the Illinois State Board of Elections dealing with election data and voter rolls. And on Friday, it was announced a settlement was reached to allow for inspection of 15 election cycles worth of voter roll data. And to be inspected electronically instead of in person at the State Board of Elections here in Springfield. Welcome back. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop with 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. We talked earlier about this and shared reaction from State Representative Brad Halbrook, who's on the House Ethics and Elections Committee. And he said that this is a fight towards transparency and says that hopefully it can allay some concerns that people have about Illinois' election integrity. But one of those who is behind this effort, Carol Davis, she joins us now. Carol, your reaction to this statement and announcements of having the access to these voter rolls. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, thank you so much, Greg. And we are, of course, thrilled. It's been a long, hard road, which actually the effort started back in September of 2017. So we just thank Judicial Watch in DC so much. They're a phenomenal organization. And we've worked with several of their attorneys, and they've been so diligent and persistent. And basically, it all boils down to the state of Illinois has to comply with the federal law regarding voter rolls.
So when it comes to the statement Judicial Watch put out announcing the settlement, they also said that they are expecting to release data showing that there's nearly 800,000 inactive registrants on the rolls across the states. What's the indication you've got on that?
Well, it's, Judicial Watch has actually done this in several states. So they're kind of old hands in looking at this data. And the government-based Election Assistance Commission, they release data every year that's been sent to them from local election authorities. And what Judicial Watch does is it compares that data and analyzes it. And that's how they find out who should be legally removed from the rolls.
So what's ultimately your goal in all of this? Is it to remove those inactive registrants from the rolls?
Well, what we would like to do is just have the law be followed, which says that you can't have people who are ineligible to vote on the rolls. And so we are completely for transparent, open, and honest elections. And we feel if you've got bloated, inaccurate rolls, that is just one more factor that might contribute to election problems.
Carol Davis with us. She's one of the individuals behind this settlement where the Illinois Conservative Union and Judicial Watch announcing that the Illinois State Board of Elections is granting access after facing federal lawsuits to the voter roll data and allowing for electronic access to this. Talk about that, because the State Board of Elections had said, hey, come on down during business hours at the Springfield office. You can pour through the insurmountable lines of data in a short amount of time. Why was that not enough?
Well, when we actually tried to do that, it was pretty silly. It was, in fact, quite funny because two of our team, the three of us on the suit, myself, Jan Shaw, and Loretta Savi, we've hung together all this time. And so Jan and Loretta actually made the trip down. They were invited to view the voter rolls on a single computer monitor, one voter at a time. And of course, we have 8 million people on our voter rolls here in Illinois. There was no way to do any search. It was pretty ludicrous. So that is not the type of access that the federal National Voter Registration Act had intended for citizens.
So obviously getting access to that electronically allows you guys to search the data sets and to go through this in a manner that will allow for you guys to at least find what you're looking for there. I want to get your reaction to the Chicago Tribune headline here. Conservative group headed by 2020 presidential election denier wins access to Illinois voter data in court settlement. Are you an election denier? And what do you think of that being injected into this headline?
Well, of course, those of us who are for open, fair, and honest elections, that's been a label that's been slapped on us for several years now. And, I joke. I don't deny there's elections. What we want, of course, is just open, transparent, honest, and fair elections. And if anyone actually did their due diligence, as we have, I've been involved in election integrity for over a decade. And I have been a frontline election judge. I've been a poll watcher. I've been a deputy registrar. And I can tell you firsthand from the front lines in the trenches, there are anomalies or outright fraud in every election. Somebody's going to cheat. And so to call us deniers or conspiracy theorists, that's just ignorant coming from people who have not spent time on the front lines of elections.
And we're talking with Carol Davis, one of the plaintiffs in the case that freed up the electronic access to voter rolls for 15 election cycles. How far back does that go? I'm trying to calculate. We have an election basically like every 2 years, and then you got the municipal and consolidated elections. How far back is this going to go for you guys?
Yeah, in fact, it's funny. I haven't taken the time. Who knows? Like back to Warren Harding, I guess. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's great because, history can tell us a lot about voting trends, about, registration, numbers of people being added to the rolls at particular points in time. So all of that information can be graphed and can be very valuable.
Carol, something else that Judicial Watch has, and it was filed before the 2022 election, deals with Illinois and all of the mail-in balloting that happens, the early voting, and even the 2 weeks after the election is over of Illinois still counting ballots that are mailed in. That case is still pending here. What are your thoughts on the current lay of the land when it comes to Illinois election policies?
Well, I am thrilled that Judicial Watch jumped on that lawsuit. And, that's with, of course, U.S. Congressman Mike Bost and a couple of other plaintiffs. And I am hoping for the best for that because the Constitution of the United States actually says election day. It doesn't say election month. It doesn't say election season. It's ludicrous, the amount of time that has been pumped into our election process. And it just contributes to the uneasy sense that the public has that there's just way too much time for problems to pop up. So we need to get back to a more constrained, controlled, and lawful process to run our elections.
Carol, I hope that we can stay connected and talk more about what you guys are able to find. And how long do you think it's going to take to go through 15 election cycles with an average of 8 million voters that are registered? How long are you guys going to be pouring through all this data?
Well, we've got a wonderful network under our Illinois Election Integrity Program, and people can go to IEIP.org to find out more. And we have a working group, voter roll maintenance. We've got lots of helpers, and we can always use more. So if you want to help, go to IEIP.org, and we'll guide you through the process. And we're very excited about what the future is going to bring. It just shows you, Greg, never give up when you're fighting for what is right and lawful. Just want to tell people, too, this data will be very carefully protected. And we just don't want anyone to be uneasy about how secure their data will be. Thank you so much.
Yep. Carol Davis, greatly appreciate it. We'll talk again in the near future, all right?
Great. Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Follow me anywhere, Bishop on Air. Just search that on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I guess I should start saying X now when it comes to Twitter. Who knows what's going on with Twitter or X. And apparently they're no longer going to be called tweets. They're going to be called X's or something. I don't know. All right. But either way, you could search for me, Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. All right. Stay tuned. We'll talk about the latest allegations against the President of the United States that he was part of a shakedown of Burisma. So we'll touch on that. But let's take a quick call here, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
So I guess I'm kind of confused, Greg. Did they win a lawsuit to get the data free?
Oh, hold on a second. I don't know why. Hold on. Okay. Start over. I had some feedback. Go ahead.
No problem. I said, what did they win in this lawsuit? Just to get the data free? Because that data's been available since I started around here in '94. So I don't know what they're happy about. They could have gotten it years ago.
The data was being made available in person, not electronically.
No, that's incorrect. You could also purchase it, and both state parties do it, and so do other organizations. So
well, but do they purchase it from the county, or do they get it from the State Board of Elections?
They can get it from either.
Well, listen, I understand what you're saying here. They can purchase
it, but they just won a lawsuit to get it free is all they did. That's what people need to know.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Then it's been available since '94, so this is not a big deal.
I think it is a big deal because
no, it's nothing.
Okay, well, that's your perspective. But listen, I mean, they're able to get access to these voter rolls and to inspect them without having to pay for them as an election integrity group. Whereas the State Board of Elections was like, oh, you can come down and see it on one computer and go through it line by line, but that's not conducive to being fully transparent. So what's the news? The news is, as even the Tribune is recognizing, there was a settlement to give access to this group in electronic format of this data. So, of course, people are going to characterize it however they want to characterize it. All right, 823 now from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
The Landmark Auto Group is introducing their new number one reason why you always do better at Landmark. Landmark for a lifetime. This incredible new reason to buy gives you an exceptional lifetime coverage on the vehicle you purchase at any Landmark store. This pro-certified lifetime warranty will be available on new and pre-owned vehicles. That's coverage for unlimited time, unlimited miles with no cost to you. Landmark for a lifetime. Just another reason why you always do better. Landmark Chrysler Jeep wants to thank you for a successful Midnight Madness sale. It's because of their great customer base and community that they can offer these amazing deals for 10 years. If you missed it, don't fret. Landmark Chrysler Jeep just got a ton of great local trade-ins and is extending the sale pricing at 4.5% financing for 78 months through July 31st. So hurry in for your last chance at Midnight Madness savings at Landmark Chrysler Jeep Prairie Crossing Drive. You always do better.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf.
4.
Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card.
7. Oh, bingo!
Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Don't miss the Illinois Air National Guard 183rd Wing Open House in conjunction with the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, August 5th and 6th from 10 until 3. Come see the C-130 Hercules, the KC-135 Stratotanker, and the T-38 Talon aircraft. Take a tour of the base facilities and meet the members of the world's greatest Air Force who work right here in Springfield. A shuttle bus will take you from the airport onto the base. That's the weekend of August 5th and 6th. For more information, call 217-757-1712.
From Hall of Fame artists to rising stars, the Illinois Lottery Grandstand stage will be rocking at this year's Illinois State Fair. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Doobie Brothers, on Saturday night, August 12th. Seven-time Grammy Award winner Alanis Morissette with special guest Tennille Towns on Sunday night, August 13th. Illinois native REO Speedwagon returns to the State Fair with special guest Edwin McCain on Tuesday night, August 15th. Hard Rock and Alter Bridge with special guest Mammoth WVH on Wednesday night, August 16th. And rounding out the rock will be Illinois-rooted rocker Chevelle on Friday night, August 18th, with special guests to be announced. Tickets on sale now, 24/7 at Ticketmaster.com or on the Ticketmaster app or at the Grandstand ticket office during regular business hours. Don't miss Rock and Roll's Elite at the 2023 Illinois State Fair, August 10th through the 20th.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
You know, we may have to postpone our conversation about electric school buses and how much of your tax dollars are going to be going to electric school buses, not just in Illinois, but across the country. Governor Pritzker on Friday joined a whole bunch of dignitaries to cut the ribbon on the Lion Electric facility near Joliet that will be making and cranking out electric school buses. There's like $5 billion across the country that's being used for electric school buses. But I want to hear from you about the latest in questions concerning pay for play with Joe Biden and the Biden family. And last week, you had whistleblowers testify to Congress from the IRS saying that they were hindered in their investigation of millions of dollars going through shell companies to the Bidens. And then you had an FBI document that Senator Chuck Grassley released indicating that it wasn't Burisma bribing Biden. It was the Bidens shaking down Burisma. So I want to get your calls at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. Again, 217-629-7970. What do you think? Is this going to be watered down and written off by the corporate media? Or do you think the corporate media is going to have to do what they did with Donald Trump, wall-to-wall coverage of all the Russia collusion narrative that was put out there for years that was ultimately not founded? But now we've got actual FBI documentation showing a source saying that they have 17 recordings, 2 of which include Joe Biden talking about money coming from Burisma to the Biden syndicate? I don't know. So we'll hear from you. 217-629-7970. Your thoughts on this story, all right? So stay tuned. We'll get to that coming up. Right now, though, it's 8:31, and let's check some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Some Illinois teachers will be entitled to a bonus under new legislation signed by Governor J.B. Pritzker. The bipartisan measure passed unanimously in the state Senate and was opposed by 9 Republicans in the House. The new law allows for an annual retention bonus of $4,000 per year for national board certified teachers who serve in schools where more than 30% of the students live in households below the poverty line. About 2/3 of Illinois is in a moderate drought condition or worse, an improvement over the past 2 weeks. With no rain in the forecast, however, drought conditions are expected to get worse. Corn and soybean crops are stressed throughout most of the state, and temperatures in the Springfield area are expected to be in the mid-90s this week. But a local farmer says the winter wheat harvest that wrapped up in late June was actually boosted by the dry weather. Excessive heat bearing down on much of the United States is a reminder of the reason the Inflation Reduction Act passed nearly a year ago. Since then, nearly 80 major clean energy manufacturing facilities have been announced, an investment equal to the previous 7 years combined, according to the American Clean Power Association. However, experts say that the IRA is not enough to guarantee the U.S. will reach its emission reduction targets outlined in the Paris Agreement to prevent the most severe impacts of climate change. A White House official says President Joe Biden will establish a national monument honoring Emmett Till, a black teenager from Chicago who was tortured and killed in 1955 after being accused of whistling at a white woman in Mississippi. His lynching and his mother's insistence on an open casket helped galvanize the civil rights movement. The official says Biden will sign a proclamation on Tuesday to create the Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley National Monument across 3 sites in Illinois and Mississippi. Tuesday is the anniversary of Till's birth in 1941. Commercial shippers are weighing their options about carrying Ukrainian grain through the Black Sea. Russia has attacked Ukrainian ports key to sending grain to the world for several days straight and withdrew from a deal whereby they had permitted grain shipments to be exported unmolested. Wheat prices worldwide are expected to spike as a spokesman for an international marine insurer group said it's unlikely that underwriters will want to cover that risk. The Pharmacy Gallery in Springfield has issued a call for applicants for its Emerging Artist Program. The program is sponsored by the Springfield Area Arts Council and the Illinois Arts Council. The Pharmacy Gallery offers a subsidized art learning experience in a studio gallery environment mentored by professional artists. Candidates must be high school graduates and should present a portfolio of recent work and an artist statement. More information can be found at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Are you wanting to hire a new cleaning company for your business? Do you want a company that is professional and has excellent customer service? Hi, I'm Kirk, the guy in the bow tie and founder of Clean Impact. We're a local cleaning company who cares about making things right. There's no need to wait any longer. We can make the transition to Clean Impact simple and painless. You can benefit from our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Customer service and keeping your office clean and healthy are our #1 priorities.
Trust Clean Impact with your business cleaning questions and needs. To start a conversation, visit cleanimpactllc.com today.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
When I commit to someone, I want them to commit back to me for, life. That's why I love Verlo mattress. When you buy a Verlo, you get something nobody else offers, a commitment to helping you love your sleep for as long as you own your mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee. Those other places, you get a measly 60, 90, maybe 120 nights. Not even close, guys. Wake up, sleep better. Verlo. Listen, at Verlo Mattress, saving a lot on a comfortable mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee is easy. Why? Well, because we make our mattresses right at the store. Yeah, we cut out the middleman, and voila, you got it. We pass the savings directly onto you every day. So hurry in today to your local Verlo, where there are no middleman markups. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
Everywhere you are, everywhere you live, with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or listen at home with your Amazon smart speaker. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny skies today with a high near 92. Slight chance of showers overnight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 93, low around 73. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 93. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or two. Thursday, sunny and hot with a high near 96. And Friday, sunny and hot with a high near 97. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday at 4:30 and 6:30. Sponsored by Edward Jones. Making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
This is the Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week, sponsored by Barcom Security.
Hi, I'm Officer Drew Zabados, Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Sangamon and Menard Counties. This week, Crime Stoppers is seeking information to assist the Pawnee Police Department reference a burglary that occurred between January 18th and 19th, 2023 at the Shed, located at 210 East Carroll in Pawnee. At the time, the Shed was under construction, and between the hours of 8:30 p.m. and 7 o'clock a.m., the burglary occurred, resulting in the theft of over $35,000 worth of property, including tools, cigarettes, alcohol, and other items. A camera shows a dark colored vehicle with a sticker on the rear window in the area. However, it is unclear if or how the vehicle is related. A photo of that vehicle can be seen on our website, cashfortips.us. If you have any information regarding this incident, call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-788-8427. Submit a tip on our website or use the P3 app. If your tip results in an arrest, you could receive a cash reward up to $2,500. Remember, Crime Stoppers only want your information, not your name.
Catch a criminal, get a reward. Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard County, sponsored by the Springfield office of Barcom Security. BarcomSecurity.com. Have a secure day.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Anyone with smaller hands knows the struggle. Trying to use that big phone with one hand is nearly impossible. Now, if you have this problem, don't worry. Most Android and iPhones have a one-handed mode, and here's how to use it. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite. Attention business owners, get 6 months with no interest or payments at netsuite.com/Kim. Let's start with Android. First, head into your Settings app. Scroll down and tap on Advanced Features. Then look for the one-handed mode option and toggle it on. Now, to use it, swipe down in the center of the bottom edge of your screen. Your screen is going to shrink to one side, making it easier to reach the entire screen using just one thumb. Now, for your iPhone users, open your Settings app and tap on Accessibility, and then Touch. You'll see an option called Reachability. Toggle that on, and to activate it, swipe down on the bottom edge of the screen, and then your entire screen will shift down, bringing the top half within reach. How easy is that? Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. If you're a business owner looking to cut costs this year, stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Right now, my sponsor, NetSuite by Oracle, has an unprecedented offer on the world's #1 cloud ERP. Sign up today and get no payments and no interest for 6 months on a full implementation of NetSuite. You can stop letting QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down. With NetSuite, you can manage and automate all of your business processes in one place. Identify rising costs and easily see where to save money. 93% of customers improve their visibility and control when they upgrade it. So join them. If you've been sizing NetSuite up to make the switch, then you know this deal is unprecedented. No interest, no payments. Take advantage of the special financing offer right now at netsuite.com/Kim. netsuite.com/Kim to get the visibility and control you need to weather any storm at netsuite.com/Kim.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The latest about the Biden family taking in money from foreign actors coming to a head. Those allegations, of course, are very explosive, if true, quote unquote. But you've got some of the most recent revelations last week of not just the IRS whistleblowers testifying in Congress. You've got now the FBI document that Senator Chuck Grassley has released. I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here. Do you think there's some legitimacy to these accusations that the Biden family is involved in criminal conduct by shaking down Burisma, a Ukrainian gas company that was looking to, set up a new gas company. What do you think about this? 217-629-7970, especially considering that for years you had the corporate media essentially do wall-to-wall coverage of all kinds of wild accusations involving the Trumps. Before the president became the president and even after the president became the president, it was wall-to-wall coverage. The walls are closing in on Trump. They're finally going to get him. They're finally going to get him. Russia. There was a Russia collusion. And even they impeached him for calling the Ukrainian president and saying we need to get to the bottom of these allegations against Joe Biden. And now we get some more of these allegations against Joe Biden, and it's pretty wild. Let's go ahead and hear what Chuck Grassley has to say about the accusations in this document he released from the FBI. Here's a minute or so of Chuck Grassley laying out what this document ultimately shows.
Well, it's been a long time, almost a year, but thanks to patriotic people that we call whistleblowers, in this case, in the bowels of the bureaucracy of the FBI and the Department of Justice, I'm able today to release to the American people the FBI document that we go by the number 1023 that has some information that the American people might know about some shenanigans that Vice President Biden and Hunter Biden may have been involved in. Now, it's up to the FBI to tell us what they've done in regard to this. But I want the people to be able to read, the people of this country, to be able to read what I read 3 months ago so that they know. By the way, this was an unclassified document, and there was no reason it should have taken 1 year to get our hands on this document so the American people can read it.
So what does the document ultimately say? Let's go ahead and take a look at this that Chuck Grassley released and what it ultimately means for the continued oversight into this issue. And let's see if we can find this really quick. Where the FBI had this 1023 FBI 1023 document and what it means and what it says. Let's get to it. 5 most serious allegations against the Bidens in this 1023 document. It ultimately lays out that there were phone calls that were recorded and that the Burisma individual felt that they were being shaken down and they were being coerced into giving $10 million, $5 million to Hunter Biden, $5 million to Joe Biden, which if this is true and it deals with Ukraine, you go back to that statement that Joe Biden made to the Council on Foreign Relations where he's like, if you don't fire this prosecutor, you're not going to get $1 billion from the United States. And son of a bee, he says, they went ahead and fired the prosecutor. That tape was all over the place. And it was something that even the former president Donald Trump wanted to get to the bottom of in the phone conversation he had with the Ukrainian president Vladimir Zelensky. And they ultimately, the U.S. Congress impeached the president. The House impeached Trump over that phone call. But now we're finding out that there was some legitimacy to the questions raised as to the Bidens coercing the foreign company to give the Biden family millions of dollars. That's just one instance. And there's others that are finding, bank records indicating that the Bidens raked in tens of millions of dollars potentially from foreign entities. Your thoughts on all this? 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, good morning, Greg. Appreciate all your information. The thing of it is even if half of what you heard about the Bidens was true. I mean, just say the other half was not. It's just false. It's not. It's the same old song and dance. So nothing will ever happen about any of this. I mean, nobody's going to be prosecuted. You're going to have investigations. You're going to have year-long spending money, bringing people up, and nothing will ever happen. We're too far gone. It's too far gone. And I mean, I don't like it. I mean, I hate to say it, but I just feel like, the majority of the people that I talk to, everybody says the same thing. Nothing's going to happen. No big deal. It's too far, and it's terrible.
Well, I mean, listen, one line of thinking is get a special prosecutor involved and investigate it independently with a special prosecutor. Others are saying, no, this is grounds for impeachment, and if Democrats in the Senate want to vote against it when it gets over to the Senate, let them do that, however they want to do that politically. What do you want to see happen here?
I think he should have been prosecuted a long time ago. That Hunter Biden's laptop should have been more, but they threw that out. I mean, it's all just, like I said, it's just frustrating to me to see all this go on and nothing ever happened. But yet, if it was Donald Trump or that, man, it'd be over. You know what I mean? It's just that.
Well, listen, the corporate media for years went on and threw all kinds of dots up. Some of them may have been legitimate, others were totally fabricated, and they started connecting all these dots. And what's fascinating, though, is we have yet to really see this story with legitimate FBI documentation showing a confidential human source laying out that there's phone recordings and the Burisma officials felt like they were being coerced. We have yet to really see this completely break through the corporate media. Do you think that'll ever happen?
No, it's never going to happen. It'll be shuffled to the side. They'll bring up something else will happen. So take your eyes off of what is going on.
Well, something that's happening this week is the House committee is going to be delving into UFOs. So we'll see what happens with that hearing this week and if that takes people's attention off of this story. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Going once. Going twice.
Here.
And now you're up.
Good
morning. You're on the air. Good morning.
Oh, yes. You couldn't hear me. I'm sorry. Well, I was just going to say all this, these shenanigans, I guess you could call them, or whatever you call it, just leads more credit to Donald Trump's contention that the last election actually was stolen. And it's just, why would they'd cover up all this stuff, but they wouldn't falsify election results,
Well, and to kind of, I guess, just go into what you're saying there with Trump saying there was some hinky stuff going on. Just look back to October when the New York Post reported the Biden laptop, which wasn't necessarily about the drug use and the prostitution and whatnot. It really did have substantive evidence that Biden was taking in millions of dollars from foreign actors and giving it to, quote, the big guy and having to, pay for the entire family. And he's complaining to his daughter and all of that. That's really what the Biden laptop was about, but it was suppressed. It was suppressed by the FBI going to social media saying, oh, we think there might be a Russian disinformation attempt here involving the Bidens, so be cautious of it. And then even having a fabricated 51 former intelligence officials saying, hey, this is Russian disinformation, and that allowed for then candidate Joe Biden to counter Donald Trump bringing this up during a debate saying, 51 intelligence officials say that this is Russian propaganda. So you can see where the truthful information that was reported by the New York Post and others back in October of 2022, or rather 2020, being suppressed, that didn't get out to the public nearly at the speed it probably should have gotten out, especially with weeks into the election.
Well, it shows why there's such a rabid fear of Donald Trump and him becoming another back in the seat of power, because he's going to turn their world upside down. They know it. That's why everyone's turning around. Everybody's going to bring an indictment against this president.
Well, he's already facing, 2, possibly 3 indictments now. It's pretty fascinating to watch all of this and history-making. No question about it, but we'll be watching it closely and taking your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. Let's get to more after the break. It's now 6:52 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
Do you have an ugly driveway? Is your driveway washed out, deteriorating, unfunctional, or maybe you just want to improve the looks of your home? Well, at Illinois Paving, we have the solution for you. Try decorative hot tar and chip, which is a fraction of the cost of asphalt. You can choose your own color of your new driveway, and we're usually in and out in a day. So call Cousin Bill and the crew at Illinois Paving today. ILPaving.com.
The Riverbank Lodge. Stop in Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. for the best lunch in Petersburg, and nightly 4 to midnight where you can enjoy food, drinks, and gaming. Why not stay the night? Ask about our room rates. The Riverbank Lodge, Petersburg. Play slots or try a hand at video poker and win big with Excel Entertainment, Illinois' leading terminal operator. Take a spin with us and have your pick of the hottest games and enjoy the latest upgrades. Gaming as easy as 3-2-win. Powered by Excel Entertainment. Game on.
Don't miss the Illinois Air National Guard 183rd Wing Open House in conjunction with the Abraham Lincoln Cathedral Airport, August 5th and 6th from 10 until 3. Come see the C-130 Hercules, the KC-135 Stratotanker, and the T-38 Talon aircraft. Take a tour of the base facilities and meet the members of the world's greatest Air Force who work right here in Springfield. A shuttle bus will take you from the airport onto the base. That's the weekend of August 5th and 6th. For more information, call 217-757-1712.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-798-4545. That's 800-798-4545. 800-798-4545.
Summer's heating things up, outside and on the grill. Whether you're smoking a brisket or grilling up veggies, Kingsford Original Charcoal delivers the consistent performance and smoky wood-fired flavor barbecuers crave. Kingsford Original lights faster and has a long burn time, giving you the ultimate grilling experience. So grab a bag of Kingsford Original Charcoal. Kingsford.com. Kingsford Original Charcoal lights faster and delivers consistent performance compared to nationally available charcoal in the USA.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
They may have told you it can't be done. You may think there is no way to do it, but at Rex Battery, changing an iPhone battery is a piece of cake. It's true, many iPhone models have batteries that can be replaced. And if yours is still working fine, except for the battery, don't get rid of it, replace it. We have the tools and the right battery to put extra life in an old iPhone. If your iPhone has a dreaded crack down the screen, we can fix that too. For decades, Rex Battery has been finding the right battery to get the job done. Big, small, and hard to get to. iPhone batteries can be replaced in many of the models so you can have more talk time, more selfie time, and more time to learn that TikTok dance. New batteries and broken screen repair now available at Rex Battery. From the tiniest hearing aids to the biggest farm equipment, nobody knows batteries better than Rex. Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
appreciate your calls at 217-629-7970. May have just a moment to take at least one call, but let's look at this document in particular, this 1023, where it says that a Ukrainian individual, Shulkevsky, stated to another that there'd already been somebody been fired, no investigation was currently going on, and that nobody would find out about the financial dealings with the Bidens. Confidential human source then said, I hope you have some backup proof to your words, namely that Shulkevsky was forsec to pay the Bidens. Shulkevsky replied that he has many text messages and recordings that show that he was coerced to make such payments. Again, coerced to make such payments. So this is obviously something that at least this FBI document of a confidential human source lays out what's going on here. And we do have another individual that's set to testify to Congress, a business partner to the Bidens, Devin Archer. Here's a headline from the New York Post. Hunter Biden put then VP Dad Joe on the phone with business associates at least 24 times, according to Devin Archer, who's set to testify. So again, this is something that I think is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's obvious that there's a lot of smoke when it comes to this question of a fire, and I think it's going to be what people have already speculated is the largest political scandal in history for the United States. So who knows? Is Biden somebody whose hands are clean in all this, or is he putting his drug-addicted, hopefully recovering son out there to drum up millions of dollars to use the Biden name? That's the allegation. We'll be seeing if that holds any water in the weeks and months ahead. And should there be a special prosecutor, or will that just slow things down, or should there instead be an impeachment, or should we just wait until the 2024 election to possibly hold Biden accountable for this, if indeed this pans out to be true? All right, that's all I got for you today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Appreciate everybody tuning in, live and local, 6 to 9, each and every weekday morning. I'm Greg Bishop. Find me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. It's now 9 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios.